tell me how your offseason's been. Obviously, it's not as straightforward as it used to be with the transfer portal and recruiting during the offseason. I know you don't really get an offseason anymore, but how was your offseason?
Yeah, it started right away. As you can tell, you sat here all day, a bunch of new guys, a bunch of new faces, just making sure that roster was set before the draft and then adjusting after the draft. And since we got back in August, these guys have been working their tail off, and it's been a fun group to be around.
Many different rankings have acknowledged what you guys have been able to do during the offseason, both in the transfer portal and recruiting-wise. Some have you guys in the top 15, other sources have you in the top 25. What do you think is going to be the biggest jump from last season to this season?
Well, we have to obviously play better baseball as a whole. We were in a bunch of games, and I wanted to see us at this stage of the fall really start to make the right decisions on the field and play winning baseball, which we did that for a majority of today. And we ran out 3 freshmen out there and a couple transfers, and that was nice to see.
I want to ask you about the freshmen at some point during this interview, but we saw Landon Moran, Stetson transfer, who made a lot of great plays versus us last year. What was the interest in going into him during the offseason?
Him as a person, just knowing who he is, a local player, outstanding young man, hard worker. When he got in the portal, obviously we kind of triggered around what he could do for us offensively and defensively, and he's as good at the defensive first baseman that I've ever coached, and he's actually a really good defensive outfielder too, and he's just a winning baseball player.
Cool. Going back to freshmen, we saw Lodis make his appearance today, a name that we heard a lot about last college baseball season through his brothers. Obviously he's a freshman, but what are you expecting to see from him this season? How much playing time can he
expect? Yeah, he's gonna factor in a lot. He'll be involved in this thing at third and short and offensively. Really athletic guy, headsy baseball player. Signed his cousin at Florida State, and I'm very fortunate. He's one of those guys, those freshmen that we think we can build this thing around.
Something we saw a lot of today, but maybe not so much towards the end of last season, was extra base hits. How big of importance are you putting on it this year?
Well, I think it's into our offense, right? Like less than 2 strike hitting, we're just not slapping the ball around. We got 2 strikes in the beginning of the count to really do some damage, whatever that is for each guy. Like Williamson could hit a ball 450 feet, and Diamez Ross did a couple times backside and hit one out as well. Like there's some capabilities that I've seen these guys kind of grow into in the last 10 months.
You just mentioned 2 names that are key holdovers from last season, Ross and Williamson. How big of a factor are you expecting them to play this season?
Huge. As soon as we got through the draft, and I obviously knew Willie was coming back, and when Diamez worked through the draft and the decisions he made, but we made a joke as a coaching staff. The first thing I did was I went back in there and circled Ross on center field and leading off on the lineup card. I told the guys to do the rest. I did my job.
Back to those 2 outfield positions. Obviously, there's a third one out there. Mm-hmm. What is the battle looking like for the third outfield position at this point?
J.D. Rogers has played really, really well for us, not only offensively but defensively. He can run the bases. He's been great. There's a handful of other guys that will factor into that. There's some guys that are multi-positional, and we're excited about the depth out there.
Switching from hitters to pitchers, what arms are you excited? I asked you the same question last year, but what arms are you excited to see this season?
Well, obviously Braden Smith and Joey Trombley, the first 2 guys you saw out there, both transfers. They've been, what you saw today was kind of what they've done all fall. Wicker, obviously looks like the stuff has ticked up. He spent the whole summer here in the weight room and really changed his body, and we're expecting that to grow. And then you can go up and down the list in the bullpen guys and there's 2 guys that didn't pitch a lot that are returning guys, Anthony Lariz that you saw and Drew Bellis, that have really taken that step forward. We're excited to see what happens for them.
Moving into position battles for the infield 4, obviously you lose a lot of guys in Lex, Espinal, Maduro, a lot of either transfers or guys that went to the draft. What are you expecting the infield 4 to look like? What is the rotation of guys?
Yeah, and obviously Khalees is very valuable. He can play all 3 spots. Austin Jacobs has played great at short. Lodis has been great out there. Caden Gaskin's been outstanding. We have a mix of athletic, versatile guys out there that we can use.
And then switching to behind the plate, obviously DK and Sundin and all the Eris Rivera last season were huge and instrumental in the team's success. Yep. What are you guys looking at into fixing their fixing the plate this season?
Okay. Zach Skinner, the transfer from Lamar, has been great all fall. He brings a veteran presence, and the freshman Sebastian Hurtado's been outstanding. He's as gifted freshman catcher as we've had here since I've been here, and Dallas Brooks and Mason Wilson can also go behind the plate and factor into that DH in the outfield spot as well.
And finally, just takeaways from fall ball so far, positives and negatives both.
Yeah, I thought we started off thinking, okay, there's some talent on this roster, and early it was kind of sloppy. And I told them at this point of the fall, I wanted to see that stuff clean up, and felt like when we leave Rollins that we could play a championship level game with everything in our system in. And I feel like we can do that today. Everything that we tried to do offensively today was in. Got 8 different guys in the game, handled it pretty well. The defense was above average, and if this is as bad as we get and we can increase from here, then we'll be okay.
Wasn't able to final one. I wasn't able to catch the FIU game. What do you like from that game? Was there anything that you saw that was stood out to you?
I mean, Joey Trombley and Braden Smith were great. Bellis was really good. LaRiz was really good. The defense overall was pretty good down there. We were practicing for 3 days, so to go down there and play like the way they did defensively, and some of those guys pitching, and the offensive stuff was pretty special there. And I think it showed some of that stuff where guys like, hey guys, like if this is where we're starting, then let's push this thing and see how good we can be.
How excited are you for the season?
Yeah, we got a long way to go from there. We got another week of this stuff, and then that next phase and that early part of spring, and I'm excited to see this team grow.